I believe that the way that you communicate, though, like it's just to the point. They're quick videos. There's a wealth of information for people to, um, you know, to learn and to know and to realize. I never felt like, well, I can't have this. I can't have this.
Yeah.
It was do this instead of that.
Yeah.
So that, because this is better for you. Okay, I can deal with that. You tell me I can't have something, I'm going to go and do it.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And you've never done that.
Right. Because that's the point, is to build something that whatever slots you have in your life of the stuff you love, let's just like make those better. So you're a morning coffee person, great. And you normally used to use this crappy sugary creamer, great. Here's a better option. So you just make that a little bit better. You make your snacks healthier, and then you're still enjoying what you love. It's just better options, and you're making smart substitutions. And the cool thing, I would say at the same time, living in a society where there's so many unhealthy options, there's also a lot of great ones too. When you start to find the right kinds of things that work for your nutrition flow and operating system, you're kind of set. And the market's coming out with more good stuff. So that's really wonderful. Hey there, my friend. Welcome. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I want to welcome you back to another episode here on the Fit Mother Project podcast. In just a moment, you're going to hear a conversation between myself and one of our amazing Fit Mother program members, Quenna Milam. Quenna is a 52-year-old mom, wife, business owner, and she used our Fit Mother 30X program and ultimately the entire Fit Mother 30X program series to completely transform her life. She went from being overweight, joints are hurting, struggling with menopause, lacking confidence, and just feeling like she was a little stuck with her health and her life, to completely turning things around. And it wasn't necessarily an easy journey, but as Quenna describes, it was one of the most meaningful things she's done in a very long time. It's reinvigorated her confidence. She's lost 30 pounds. Her joints feel so much better. Her marriage is better, and she just feels like she's aligned. And this is a powerful conversation. I really felt so connected to everything that Quenna was sharing, because she goes through all the different layers of a health transformation. Certainly the physical one, where we're changing some of our habits with our nutrition, our exercise, but she also gets into the mental and the spiritual aspects of this. Because when we're changing our health in our lives, like Quenna has done, it is a full bore, all in kind of thing to make the kind of real transformation that a fit mom like Quenna has done. So I want you to listen to this episode. I think you're going to glean a lot of information and inspiration from Quenna's story. And she also mentions a lot of useful things that are inside our Fit Mother 30X Phase 1 program, which if you're not a member, there's going to be links in the description of this podcast where you can check that program out. There'll be a discount code. And if in case you want to follow and join Quenna and the other ladies in this program transforming, she mentions like our eating out fast food guide and how that was really valuable for her, because she's often busy on job sites and doing things late at night. So there's so much great stuff in here. I think you're really going to enjoy this combo. So let's hop in to our Fit Mother conversation with Quenna Milam. All right, Quenna, welcome officially to the Fit Mother podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been an amazing journey for you, improving your health amidst all the other things that you do in your life with your work and your business and your family and your kids and all of it. So I'm really excited to hear your story. And to get into that, I would love for you to introduce yourself to everyone listening, a little bit about you, about what you spend your time doing, about your family, and then we'll get into how you found the Fit Mother Project.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to be with you. This has totally changed my life, but I'm 52 years old, entrepreneur really at heart. I've been married for 31 and a half years to Russell. And, he's my high school sweetheart and my very, very best friends. We do life together, including business. And we opened our construction business in year 2000. So we've been in business for 21 years, got out of the rat race of working for an employer. And we have two wonderful kids, adult kids. So I've got a son that's 29, Caleb. He's married, and they have two daughters. And so they actually made me a May. So and that I didn't know my heart could be so big. And then my daughter is 25, Alexa, and she has a wonderful career as a speech pathologist working with special needs kids. So that's
Nice.
That's really cool. But she has a 90-pound golden doodle, Ruby. And I call that my granddogger. Okay, so I've got a
Yeah.
granddogger, and then I've got three furry babies, two golden doodles, Boomer and Maverick, and a chocolate lab, Bella. And I mention them because they are so much a part of my life. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's beautiful. You have a wonderful family, and it sounds like you have a really beautiful life.
yeah.
So, amidst all of that, what brought you to the Fit Mother Project? What was going on that prompted you to find us? How did you find us? What was going on with your health at that time?
Yeah. So, I've been active, for years. For as long as Russ and I have been married, we've been active. But there were some definite changes in my life that started happening in my late 40s. And when I turned 50, it seemed like everything, just from my energy to my mood swings to injuries. I was traveling with my business. I was traveling all over the world,
Mhm.
and I noticed, like, walking in the airport, my ankle. I was having some issues with that. Then I started developing something weird, with my back that was extremely painful. So when I would
Mhm.
be holding my grandbabies, it was just weird. Or even a laundry basket, it would hurt
Mhm.
my back. Um, Whenever I would go to doctors and the therapists, they would say, don't work out for a minimum of 3 weeks, so that we can figure out what's going on. But I couldn't get answers with that.
Mhm.
And, I went from working out about 3 times a week to where it was nothing.
Yeah.
And then, I started putting on that menopause weight and like
Mhm.
in the midsection and all of that. And I also got real sick with COVID
Mhm.
in last January, and it was 17 straight days of high fever.
Wow.
And it seemed like that was the point. I felt like I was never going to get my energy back. I felt like I was not, my hair was falling out, all of that.
Mhm.
It was so crazy because I would watch workouts on Pinterest and on YouTube and all of that, but I was so desperate, and I didn't know what to do because I knew that I needed the nutrition side, which was
Mhm.
my weakness,
Mhm.
and workouts working together. I knew if
Mhm.
there was ever a time in my life, especially at this age, I needed both of those things working,
Yeah.
and I had the workout thing in my life, but not the nutritional side. So anyway, I was miserable. I really was miserable. It was one of the times that I felt like I was just, if the doctors are telling me don't work out, there's really no use because you're in menopause. It's going to be extremely hard. You're so busy, you know. You're going to have to be in the gym or running or whatever for 2 or 3 hours. And so when they gave me that excuse that I could latch onto, it just added to what I was already feeling. So I just said, forget it. Maybe if I watch these videos, I'll be in shape just by watching them.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I was desperate. I really was.
Yeah. I mean, what a story. I just all the things how they stacked up, and I can really feel as you're sharing that the amount of pressure, frustration, fear that like you weren't going to get better. Like that feeling is very real. And then also it hurts my heart that currently the way the medical system is that doctors are telling, patients like you at the time that there is no hope. And that's total BS. Obviously, you're here on the other side of this thing. There's stuff that you can do. And so what happens? How do you climb out of that and start to, shift that momentum into a direction that's healthy and positive?
Well, I just was thinking, I was really nervous that I would hurt my back. The form, I was thinking, well, maybe in all of my workouts, the reason why I'm dealing with these injuries that just happened over time, maybe it's because my form wasn't right or whatever. So I was real, I was nervous about just going against what they said to do, right?
Mhm.
My arthritis, my family's been plagued for years with arthritis, and boy, I could start telling it. It
Mhm.
was it was like the more that I wasn't active, the more that I was hurting, even just walking or
Mhm.
or anything. So I remember I was laying in bed. This is what my morning ritual was. I would lay in bed because I would work. I would work with people all over the world, all hours of the night. So
Mhm.
sometimes it would be like in the morning, I would be laying in bed drinking my coffee, Russ would be getting ready to go to job sites.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I was looking on videos, just seeing, is there something that would connect with me? And one video led to another video to another video. And then there's Dr. Anthony. And I thought, okay. And it was about strength training as you age and the importance of that and building the muscles around the joints and everything. I thought, okay, this makes some good sense. So I was really, listening, and then also the importance of the nutrition side. And so what I did is I joined your channel, and then there, all the other videos that were on there. And Russ was in the bathroom getting ready whenever I was listening. And he said, the first thing he said is, do you think that you're working out just by laying in bed watching those videos? And I'll never forget that. And then he heard you talking. He said, wait a minute, who is that talking? So I showed him you. And he said, oh, yeah, I've listened to some of his videos because he's an Iron Man.
Yeah.
So in some of this training, he listened to a couple of your videos, and he knew exactly who that was, And I said, Russ, I'm really thinking that maybe I could do, this program. But the thing is I couldn't face, okay, this is just really raw, but I was so nervous about starting something and not being able to complete it.
Yeah.
And that's not me.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I don't want to even try if it's going to be something I'm going to fail at.
Yeah.
And that's so weird for me to say, but that is what I was dealing with. I was at a point where I could see myself failing, but there was something that I got, because I think I signed up, I provided my email or something. I went to your website, and there was something where you were running a Mother's Day special.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, it's so economical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go for it. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. So I signed up, and we sold our house very quickly. I contacted Amy, and Amy said, why don't you wait until, I love her, by the way.
Amy's amazing. Yeah.
Why don't you wait until after you move? And that way, I think what she's consents from me is this girl might have some excuses. Yeah. And if she gets to move it, that's going to get her out of her routine. So start with a clean slate. That was the best advice for me to do. So I started June the 14th,
nice.
2021. So a few months ago.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you're coming up this year on like a 1-year anniversary, in 2022, which is amazing. So what's it like when you join and you're getting started? Let's talk about this early period, like what it's like getting started on the program, your experience going through the meal plan, watching the exercise videos, the mission statement, and what it's like in those first few weeks of starting to implement this stuff.
Yeah. So whenever I started the program, and what I did is that period before I actually did my start date on June the 14th, I paid for it in May. Mm-hmm. So what I did is in my spare time, man, I was watching the videos, and I'm going to tell you, I think that the process by which you do it before you ever even do your start date, I think that's so strong, because it gives you a lot of the how to do things, but why you need to do those things, and that's what I needed, especially on the nutrition side, because it's something that I've never had to learn. I never struggled with being overweight or anything until, my late 40s, I guess. And so I really educated, and I did my setup. So by the time that I actually started, now I'll tell you, that morning that I got up though on the 14th, I couldn't walk. My joints were hurting so bad from moving. But by that point, I felt like I was fueled. I was ready to go. There wasn't going to be, it was my body saying, Quenna, don't do this. And I was saying, oh no, you're going to do it. So in my mind, I didn't do the lifetime or anything like that. What I did is Quenna, you're going to do this for 4 weeks. Come hell or high water. I don't care how bad you're going to hurt. You're going to do it for 4 weeks and see what happens. But there was something that happened. There's a there's a thought process to make yourself sign up, or for me to sign up. But then with all the education, also the form and how to do the workouts and all of that, I felt so equipped and so good. And not only that, but like whenever I did the PDF form and like the nutrition guide, it's like click here to order this, click here to order. And here's what I told myself. This is this is what I told myself. I'm either going to prove the doctors wrong or I'm going to prove Dr. A wrong. I'm serious. That's what I said, because I'm going to follow this thing 100%, and I'm proving the doctors wrong.
Yeah. And thanks for proving me right, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's really where my mind was. It's like, I think I've trained myself or something. My lifestyle is once I make a commitment, I could do it for 4 weeks. I didn't know if I could go, longer than that. But it was about 3 weeks in, and I realized, okay, this is a lifestyle change for me. This isn't just a program or a diet. This is going to be a lifestyle for me. And that was amazing to finally have hope, that things can change for me.
Yeah. So powerful. I mean, I really appreciate how you shared the different snapshots of your mindset in each of these journeys, because I think that's so helpful for people to hear, because I think the mindset does change. In the beginning, you're like, can I even do this? Can I succeed? There's the fear of failure. And then you're like, okay, screw it. I'm just going to try it. And then you learn, you go through the setup steps. And now you're at the point where like you feel some confidence, a spark of confidence, because you have clarity. And then you dive in and you get going, because you're like, I can do anything for 4 weeks because I'm a strong person. And this is your mindset, right? And so what happened at the end of 4 weeks? What was your experience like at the end of week 4, having improved your exercise and your nutrition and all the other education? What was it like at that point?
At the end of 4 weeks, I had already made, and Russ too. Russ, with him being, fit, and he's very observant about it, but he's an encourager. I mean, he definitely having that support of him has been very tremendous. But the changes in my body and the energy level and the habits, like in 4 weeks, you can develop habits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And learning to use the scale as a tool and all of that. It's just so much that happened in that 4 weeks. And I struggled too. I don't want people thinking that I didn't struggle. I mean, seriously, I listen to worship music while I'm working out. Russ will listen to rock and roll and all that. I listen to worship music. And because I feel like my relationship with God, I feel like he's my partner whenever I'm struggling with Apex 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think about in my workouts was my family. Why am I doing this? Why? And I would always go back to my mission, as to why am I doing it? And so there were struggles there, but the thing is just even in the shower or, getting ready or whatever, and seeing the difference in how my clothes were fitting or muscles that were popping out.
Yeah.
I was just so excited. And I just thought, man, because my energy is back, my hair quit falling out. I'm doing the supplements. I'm doing, everything that you said, that's what I was doing. So much of a difference that it's like, man, I'm going to go after that 4 weeks. I talked to, I was, of course, talked to Russ about it. And I said, I want to do this. I want to go full guns a-blazing. Like, I want to do this whole thing. I want to make it through phase 4, everything. And he said, Quinn, you're just totally different. Like, I'm behind you 150%. Nice. He's loving the meals and everything too.
Yeah.
And the different lifestyles. Let me tell you something about dispelling excuses. I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do Chick-fil-A or Subway or, Panera Bread or whatever. Well, I keep that list in my car, in my glove box.
Yeah.
So like if we're going, if you're out and you're busy and you say, I've got to go and eat here because I'm out of time or whatever. I'm busy at a job site. You even dispelled that excuse. So I wanted to slip that in there. But
yeah, the list of all the fast foods you're referring to that we give you the best options in the meal plan. Totally. That's
yes,
stuff. It seems small, but it's important. These are like tools in your tool chest that like smooth out those excuses, because those excuses are lack of understanding, or it's like you don't have a plan that can fit that. But for you, now you do. And that's so cool to me that you have that.
Yeah. So I just decided I'm making a decision. This is who I am. And this is who I want to be. And all of the changes and, stuff that happen inside and physically, I just, that first 4 weeks was just a big time. I learned how to not fight with the scale. I use it as a tool. I mean, so many different things that happened just being committed that first 4 weeks that made it such a wonderful platform and foundation to be able to move on to phase 2, 3,
Yeah.
and 4.
And I think something you shared is like how your energy and your feeling of healthiness and goodness changed. It feels good to feel good. And I think that's the best gift that the first 4 weeks of cleaning you up can be, is you just start to feel better. Yeah. And then you can just like get that momentum to just steamroll into the future. I want to zone in on so many things. The first thing I want to talk about is exercise. I'd love to give me a snapshot of like, I'd love for you to describe what the Fit Mother workout style is kind of like for those ladies who have not checked it out, or like, what was it like getting into your first Apex 10 workout? And how may have that been different than a past exercise you tried, and how tough that was? And then tell me what it was like maybe at 4 weeks or even today, how your fitness has kind of changed as a result of doing these kinds of workouts.
So the Apex 10, okay, it was a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. But I do remember whenever you said, especially getting to the levels of 8, 9, and 10, and then coming back down, 9, 8. I really was surprised at how the Apex 10, first of all, it does give or for me, it was fast results. I could really, I loved that. But it was tough getting through those. It was very, very hard for me. And it was the cardio being built into the strength training and all that. It was just something that I wasn't accustomed to, but it was only temporary. I mean, that's the thing. Well, I mean, it's still a tough workout, but I'm just saying it was that feeling of the culture shock was only temporary. It's when you're developing habits and and all of that, it's not something that stays permanent that way. I got used to it, but it was definitely different than what I had done before. But I also feel like the way the
circuit,
yes, is done in a way to where it is the most effective, when I think maybe I didn't have that before. You know what I mean? That working, and then, every 4 weeks you changing the workout and all of that. I never knew to do that. I never knew to do that. I didn't know that your body could reach a plateau, and, I didn't know. I mean, I've learned so much, but going through that, I felt like that was a wonderful thing. Looking back, it was a wonderful exercise to do I mean, it kind of it weeds out those that are serious. Or if I guess what I'm trying to say is I was dealing with, Quenna, you made a commitment. If you can make it through this, you're going to see some awesome, awesome changes. It's like where I was right there in the face, looking at the opportunity to say, well, I've done 6 levels. I'm not going to keep pushing myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
It's one of those things, but it's also one of those types of exercises, Dr. A, that is, you can do a good measure with how far you've come. And if you only make it to 6 levels and back down, next time do 7. Next time do 8. Or, lift heavier weights. It was a wonderful thing. And then, of course, the belladonna, all the workouts have just been amazing.
That's really great to hear. And I think what you shared, I just want to emphasize, because it's so important. It's that these types of workouts are not only super effective because they give you the strength and the cardio and the mobility kind of all in one, but at all those higher levels, they make you come in contact with that inner critic, the inner weakness, the excuse engine, wherever that's coming from, you see that crop up, and you're able to choose something different that's aligned with your higher purpose and your values of taking care of yourself and wanting something better. And the more you do that, you're like strengthening your personal power. So that's why I think these workouts, like they level you up, what I would call energetically, spiritually, personally, as much as they do physically. And that's, I think, part of where the energy also comes from. I think the body physically gets more energized, but I also believe just like our inner selves, we get more aligned in this process too, by just going through hard stuff, getting on the other side and being like, I did that and I feel awesome now. So I just want to share that. I just think that what you described is really, really special.
It is. It really, really is. And the battle, if anybody could ever see what was going on in my mind, trying to make it through those things, it was like, my body crying out, me saying, no, you went up to 10, you're going to repeat 9, and you're going to repeat 8, and it's going to get easier as you go back down. I mean, it's just, and then you're crying out to God, Lord, please help me. And looking at my kids and my grandkids and saying, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. You can do this. You can do it.
And now I bet you can get an Apex Den done and so much, your fitness level is probably much increased from what it was from your first Apex 10, which is good. It's nice. I think it's, and also very, very telling that your hair stopped falling out too. I mean, that means your system is so much more robust on the nutrition side of things, on nervous system side of things as well. That's really great. All right. So let's shift gears. I want to talk a little bit specifically about some of the things that worked for you on the nutrition. As you're reading through the Fit Mother meal plan and you're looking at some of these different schedule setups, you're starting to think about, when am I going to eat? What are some of my go-to meals? What did you end up kind of settling on as the thing that worked best for you and your family?
The go-to was really, really best for me, the timing and everything. I needed to get my day, I need to get up, get my workout in, get my smoothie in by 8:00. Now there are some days that I'll, wait and do the 10:30, eating schedule or whatever. But I thought what I'm going to have to do is, whenever I was looking at going back to whenever I was looking at the nutrition guide and listening to your videos about that, I was going to have to pick just certain things, because with my schedule and the way that I am, first of all, I'm not real adventurous in the kitchen. I mean, I'm not. So the cooking stuff, I wasn't, crazy about. I needed to eliminate my excuses of being too busy to be in there and preparing all this stuff. I hear other people that's fun to them, and to me, I haven't reached there yet, but I am getting more adventurous in there. But what I did is I loved the smoothies. I loved them. And I learned to love them. Because, I was thinking the spinach and all the stuff, but he says it works. I'm just going to do it. And now I'm going to tell you, I crave those things. I love the, the banana, the peanut butter, the chocolate, all that. So it's really, really good. I love my smoothies. And then, doing the 8, noon and snack, and then, 6:00 at noon, I would love the Ezekiel bread. I learned to love that. If we do any kind of breakfast food or anything like that, that's my toast. I love it. That's all I eat.
Nice.
So the almond butter, honey, I love peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So I would do the almond butter and then no sugar, even bought the jelly that you were talking about. And then also the turkey and the avocado. So I would do that. And then the perfect plate, I have certain restaurants, like if we're out at job sites or whatever, there are certain restaurants that I know that they prepare the salmon like I want them, and I'll get a big salad or whatever. That's usually my go-to. But if we're at home, I love the turkey chili. I have turkey meatballs that I do. And then really the perfect plate. I love that. I love it because it gives that freedom to be able to prepare your vegetables or your salad or your protein the way that you want to, or not the way you want to, but a healthy way.
Yeah.
And then just, it helped so much, especially living the busy lifestyle that we do. It was perfect for us. And then as far as Russ, he's acquired a taste for, he hated apples, and now he eats apples with me every day.
Nice.
It's like, where's my apples? But we've acquired a taste for the things that we've chosen health and healthy over what, and once I put it out of my mind, I don't know what it is. It was replaced with the healthy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm able to do it. It's weird how that happens. So I'm just committed.
It is. I think that shift does happen. And I think it's both like an actual shift in taste buds. Like when you start eating more natural foods that are less processed, your body just starts to like that stuff more. You crave your shake. You want to eat like the real organic sprouted bread, and you're used to having vegetables and a protein, and that just helps you feel good. But two, I think it's like you said, when you form a new relationship to the food that you put in, and you're like, I'm eating this because I'm choosing health, it makes it feel good for different reasons. It's like it's like you're making a congruent decision, and that adds into the experience of the enjoyment of that food. So it's all of that stuff. And that's so cool too, that I really appreciate you sharing that, you're in the kitchen, but you're not like the most adventurous cook ever, and that you have solutions for when you guys are out at job sites. You got your go-to restaurants that can make you effectively a perfect plate, right? Half of it veggies, get a core protein, you're good to go. And then at home, you have your basic recipes that work for you guys, because the name of the game is consistency, as you know. And that comes down to the things that work for you easily. And I can see how you've slotted all of this into a routine that works for you and Russ. And that's cool. And I'm glad he's eating apples too as snacks. That's good. It'll be good for his cholesterol and his poops and all those things.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So talk to me about the middle part of your journey. And this could be, after you've kind of got momentum, you're now a lifetime member, you're getting into some of these other phases, you're changing up workouts, you're starting to get more confident and things are changing. Like, what was the middle part to kind of where you are now? How would you describe that experience?
There's ebbs and flows. So, there's times where on the scale, we put so much emphasis on how much weight have you lost or whatever. And there are times that whenever you get on that scale and you go, okay, seriously, I did everything I was supposed to do. Why did I gain a pound? You know what I mean? And so here I go. I talked to Amy, and, she was always saying, there's so many other things to be considering. And I know that, but I needed to hear her. That having Amy there, that I don't reach out to her very much, but in the times that I do, I really felt like I needed that reinforcement from her. Or, because I think when the honeymoon's over, you've got this new lifestyle, you're doing the workouts, you see that it's working, people are excited for you or your family. That kind of it's kind of like a honeymoon type thing. Then it settles in to where, okay, this is my lifestyle. This is it. But you're still doing the water every morning. You're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing and weighing every morning. But you see where it kind of like, oh gosh, I feel that fear creeping in. Like, what if I've reached a point to where I can't, lose anymore or whatever? Being able to go to the Facebook group, I absolutely love that. I'm not on Facebook as much anymore, but I make myself go to the groups, the Fit Mother Project, because I see the other struggles, and then I hear, the other mothers, coming in and responding, and that always fuels me.
Yeah.
Or I'll watch one of your videos, like in the Monday email, that you send out, these videos. And I've just learned that fuels me to keep me going. Always, God gave us a memory. He did that. He gave us the ability to be able to remember. And if we use that effectively, one of the things that I've done is remembering how I felt before I ever started. Or remembering how I feel the morning after. maybe the night before that my nutrition wasn't good,
Yeah.
or how much pain that I was in or whatever, because we can quickly forget. We live in the here and now, and we can forget how it was. And I don't ever want to lose that. I mean, not in a thing that holds me back, but in something that inspires me to keep living this lifestyle, because it's this that has really made a difference in how I feel.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that in that stage where it's not the all the excitement and everything. Now I get excited every 4 weeks, and I'm changing my workouts.
Hmm.
That's cool, and wondering how that's going to affect my body and the changes that I see and stuff like that. But just in that time of where I'm looking at I'm trying not to let the scale dictate the way I feel about my success
Yeah.
or not. But you do get in those places where, or I did, in after the 4 weeks, and it was kind of like my weight would be at a standstill. Um, and so I really plugged into Amy, or I would plug into the videos, or I would go back to my mission statement,
Hmm.
and saw the person that was writing everything down at the very beginning,
Hmm.
and the confidence restored and all that. And plugging in the Facebook group is a very, very vital, wonderful, supportive thing to help you through those times, and the highs and lows, and all of that. Um, so is that kind of what you were at
Yeah,
the
it's totally
talking
what I
about?
was totally what I was asking. And I think it's like this weight loss journey to me is like a grand personal drama. Like it's the drama of us going through riding this wave of our desire to feel better, to look better, to live in a way that feels congruent with us and what we deeply believe. And then it's all the ups and downs of our life crashing across that shore, the old habits of belief and thinking and insecurities that pop up, the changes in the body and stuff just being stuck for some amount of time. There's an element of frustration. It's like a hero's journey where I think I'm glad you shared what you did, because I think it's important for people to hear that this is to be expected, in a sense, that the road will have bumps. And it's only if you ever really quit that you've lost, because it's about continuing to move forward long term. And I'd love for you to describe, on that note, what your body feels like today versus how it felt like, right before you started the program, after you'd moved into the new house, when, you basically described your body as being incredibly achy, and probably a little run down. What does your body feel like today? What were the changes in the amount of weight released, or maybe how things fit? How do your joints feel? Energy levels. I'd like to give a snapshot for people, because I think that's part of the cool thing, to see that difference, knowing that the road was bumpy along the way, but it was ultimately kind of worth it.
Oh yeah, it was definitely worth it. That when you have all of that pain, I think your body is telling you don't do anything.
Mm.
It's best to rest. It's best to not do anything. And what I found, especially, I mean, June 14th was my first Apex 10.
Mm.
And I was saying, I don't even know if I can make it through this because I'm hurting so bad. The deal is, and this is honest to God truth, and I couldn't believe how I made it through. I mean, it took me an hour, but I couldn't believe how I felt after whenever I started.
Mhm.
And you would think you did all that stuff that was so hard on your body, or I mean, that's what you're thinking. That was so hard on your body. And I actually felt so much better. The accomplishment that
Mhm.
I actually finished. We've got a big thing in my house. It's you start strong, you keep going strong. But if you don't do that, by God, you're going to finish strong.
Yeah.
You're going to finish strong. So I'm also telling myself, I'm going to finish this workout. But I just, that level of accomplishment, um, it actually helped my joints, and I could tell from there progressively. I never had to go. My back never failed me. It has never. I have done every bit of the workouts in a safe way, making sure, because of like keeping the form and all of that. Um, you know, I've been able to make it through. But comparing I get up in the morning. I'm able to go use the restroom, go away, then I'll start on my water, you know? And
Mhm.
by the time I get done with the water, the energy is already there. I've already
Mhm.
got my energy. I drink a cup of coffee. Being able to get up and move around, being able to hold my grandbabies,
Mhm.
that my 3.5-year-old grandbaby, I can hold her, walk around with no
You
problem.
could probably pick her up and do a front squat with her
Yeah,
after all those goblet
exactly.
squats you've done. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, those things right there, it's hard to shout that from the rooftop, like I can hold my grandbabies. But to me, when I wasn't able to do it, it was like I could stand still, but to walk with them, I couldn't do it.
Mhm.
It just hurt too much. And to be able to do that is just amazing to me. So seeing those changes in my life, and realizing that just as much the working out, I mean, the nutrition, I
Mhm.
think it's something even more than the exercising and
For
building the
sure.
strength and all that, is the nutrition is totally different. I never even put milk in my body. It's almond milk. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that, and no sugar. I mean,
Mhm.
it's if somebody had told me 1 year ago I would be doing this, I would say, "You are crazy. You're crazy." Which I'm not a sweets person, but just I didn't watch the ingredients like I do now.
Yeah.
Like whenever I go to the grocery store and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So um, it is daylight and dark to make this transformation within a year is amazing to me.
Yeah. And the doctor said you couldn't lose weight, but how much weight did you end up losing through this process?
30 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, talk about that. That's also amazing while also gaining muscle, gaining strength in this process.
Yes.
But like you said, maybe some of the more subtle but important gifts are becoming more conscious of the things that you're putting in your body because you have the education.
Yeah.
Like, okay, isn't it crazy that we get to this point in our lives and like we aren't taught about the stuff we're putting in our mouth and how it like interacts with our bodies? It's kind of sad how messed up society kind of is, especially with all the bad options out there. And I think it's really special now that you not only have the real firsthand experience of making these changes to your habits and seeing the benefit in your life, but now you also have this education layer on top of that where you know things that are good for your body. And I'm sure it's made you more inquisitive to learn more stuff about health as you're kind of going through this journey. That's amazing. I think that's the foundation of what's going to keep you successful for the next several decades of great health that you've kind of laid the foundation for now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that the way that you communicate, though, like it's just to the point. They're quick videos. There's a wealth of information for people um, you know, to learn and to know and to realize. I never felt like, well, I can't have this. I can't have this.
Yeah.
It was do this instead of that,
Yeah.
so that, because this is better for you. Okay, I can deal with that. You tell me I can't have something, I'm going to go and do it.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you know what I'm saying? And you've
Yeah.
never done that.
Right. Because that's the point, is to build something that whatever slots you have in your life of the stuff you love, let's just like make those better. So you're a morning coffee person, great. And you normally used to use this crappy sugary creamer, great. Here's a better option. So you just make that a little bit better. You make your snacks healthier. And then you're still enjoying what you love. It's just better options and you're making smart substitutions. And the cool thing, I would say at the same time, living in a society where there's so many unhealthy options, there's also a lot of great ones too. When you start to find the right kinds of things that work for your nutrition flow and operating system, you're kind of set. And I think the market's coming out with more good stuff. So that's really wonderful. And I love your routine. I love just picturing you getting up, drinking your water, having your coffee on your workout days, which, by the way, how many days per week, for the ladies listening, how many days per week are you actually doing formal workouts? Like
Uh,
Apex 10 or Belladonna type stuff?
yeah, so I'm doing about 4 workouts a
Right.
week.
So, and those workouts are taking you probably 30 minutes to 1 hour.
Yep,
So, I mean,
that's it.
you're a busy person, but I mean, that's only 4 hours of exercise a week, which is setting you up for so much health and success. These workouts too, I think was really special, is they are of such an intensity that they can activate these anti-aging genes in our bodies. So it's like you're probably feeling younger too, and like the hair's not falling out. So that's massive too. It means hormones are probably working better in the background of this whole process. So Amazing. Okay, to bring this to a close, we've covered so much stuff. I'd love for you to share anything else that you feel like has been meaningful about this experience, or an insight that you'd like to share with everyone. Also, what I'm interested in, if you don't have anything direct on that, is for you with God as your workout buddy. I'd be curious to hear what this process has been like, almost on a spiritual basis for you, in terms of like living what you feel like is walking with God in that way. I'd like you to speak to maybe those things, and then we'll kind of bring this to a close.
Okay. As far as God, I just, I feel like He created us to be the best that we can be, and He wants to be there with us in that. This was something that at the beginning, I didn't know if I was going to make it through or not. You know what I mean? I mean, if you give me a business or financial stuff, then I'll work within that. But this particular thing, it was something I didn't have answers for. And I didn't, that was a trial run for me. But I was experiencing stuff in my body that nobody had answers except the menopause thing. There was no answers for my back. And I needed desperately, I didn't have confidence. And when it came to this, and I didn't have confidence, especially in the nutrition side. And that kept ringing in my ears about 80% nutrition, 20% workouts. I felt like that I needed to work so daggum hard to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was something that got my attention, is you don't have to work out so hard. You can just tweak the nutrition side. And if you gave me the tools to do that, I can do it. I feel so in my faith, I feel like that if we will do our part, then God will make up the rest and He'll help. Okay. And so I relied on that, and I made Him, it's kind of like putting that out there that I'm going to do my part. I'm not going to give up. And I just need you to do your part and help me with this for 4 weeks. We're going to do this thing together. And so that was very, very important. I feel like, and I know that God wants us to love ourselves, and He wants us to be strong. The family unit is a very vital part in this journey that we have here on earth, right?
Yeah.
And it's really, really important that I needed to be healthy for my family.
Yeah.
And I want to be that grandmother and that mom that stays young and vibrant and active and fun and having a good time. And I don't want to let anything hold me back from giving my all with my kids. And so that's what I really grabbed a hold of. And during this time, I feel like that confidence and that love for myself, and that enjoying seeing myself with pictures of my grandbabies and my kids and everything and my dogs, that I'm not avoiding that picture. I'm actually enjoying looking at it.
Yeah.
And the stuff that even within my marriage, even though it's a wonderful marriage, just it's gone to a whole new level. Like both of us, we feel like we're newly marrieds again, and that's awesome. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So there's that. If there's anything really that I could share, to all the fit moms out there, the ones that are starting the journey or looking at it, take tons and tons of pictures, because the pictures speak 1,000 words. Whenever I would, have a hard time too, I would look back at the way that I looked, and then, new pictures. I have Russ take pictures every 4 weeks, like whenever I'm starting a new thing. And, it's just, it's been a wonderful thing. From the inside out, this has been an amazing journey for me. And I'm so indebted to this program. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, is there anything else that I missed?
No, you missed absolutely nothing.
I'm trying
I think
to
this
remember
is this was a truly beautiful conversation. You've shared so much, really, and we feel very, very grateful. And I speak on behalf of Amy, our entire Fit Mother team, our Fit Father team. It's like, it fills our hearts so much when someone takes this program with the fire and the mindset that you were able to muster up with the help of God, to put this to work and to create such a beautiful transformation. Because one, I'm just so happy for you and your family. Two, I'm also so happy that you can serve in your community as an inspiration to others, that it's possible, no matter what you're going through at your age, or whatever those excuses may be, that you're living proof. And like, we need more fit moms and fit dads, because the family is the fabric of this experience that we're going through here. You've said a lot of wise things here, and that is one of them. And I know that a family is ultimately healthiest when it has fit moms and fit dads at the helm of that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Very
Quenna,
important.
this was beautiful. Thanks so much for coming on. Thank you for this podcast. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for you this year. And I wish you so many more years of great health and success. And thanks for being a fit mom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to that voice saying I should do this, because you're changing so many lives. It's awesome.
Thanks, Quenna.
Thank you so much.